Hello and welcome to Interpreting Histograms with Qubits Education. In this lecture, you will interpret histograms in order to answer exam questions. Okay, so first of all, let's explain what a histogram is. So a histogram is essentially a graph or a bar chart. However, it represents grouped continuous data. Now, grouped data is data where we could say something is collected all together. So between 10 and 20 students caught the bus to school. Okay, that's grouped because we don't know exactly how many students caught the bus, but it was between 10 and 20. Now, continuous data, however, is data that can be represented as decimals. So it could be the height of somebody, so 5'1", or the weight of somebody, okay, so like 9 stone 5, because you've got more numbers after the decimals. Now, discrete data, such as how many students caught the bus, is where you only have a whole number answer. But I will explain that in a bit more detail in a minute. Now, you can calculate frequencies from a histogram, and frequencies are just how many times something happened. So for each bar, the area represents the frequency. So you need to work out the area of the bar in order to work out how many times something happened. In order to work out the area, or the frequency, we do the frequency density times the class width. Now the class width will be done on the bottom of your axis, so on the horizontal axis, and the frequency density will be on the vertical axis. So let's have a look at an example question. The histogram shows the times a sample of students spent on the internet one evening. So the first question, A, is asking you to copy and complete the frequency table. Now it wants us to fill in the frequency here. In order to do that, we need to do the area of the bar. So we must do this length times this height for this first bar. Well, this length is 0 to 20, so that's 20, and we times it by 0.1 because it's at 0.1. So 0.1 times 20 is 2. For the second bar, we do this length, which is 20 to 30, so it's 10, okay, 20 to 30, and it goes up to 0.8, giving us 8. For the next one, it goes from 30 to 35, which is 5, and we times that by 2.8, giving us 14. Now the next one goes from 35 to 45, so that's 10 times 1.5. Okay, so I'd have said it was at 1.6, but okay. So 1.5 times 10, my mistake, equals 15. And then finally it goes from 45 to 60, so that's 15, and we times that by 0.4. Giving us 6. So you've already completed A, you've completed the frequency table. Now B asks us to estimate how many students spent longer than 50 minutes on the internet. So the section, we need to look down here at the times, and we need to know 50 minutes or more. So 50 minutes or more is actually this section, and to work out how many people, we must find the area. So we need to do 10 times 0.4. which is 4. So 4 students spent longer than 50 minutes on the internet. Okay? Okay, so example number 2 then. Emma collected data on the heights of pupils in year 9. Now if you'd like to pause the video and have a go at this, please go ahead, and then I'll go through it. Okay, so if you pause the video, let's go through how to work this out. So first of all, we definitely need to complete the frequencies here. So first of all, we go from 100 to 130, so that's 30 times 0.1, giving us 3. And then here we have 130 to 140, which is 10. 10 times 0.5 is 5. 140 to 150 is also 10, times by 0.8, giving us 8. 150 to 160 is 10, times 1 is 10. And then 160 to 180 is 20, times 0.3 is 6. So you've completed the frequencies, but it wants to know how many pupils are between 120 centimetres and 145 centimetres. So 120 and 145. So I don't know why that was green under there. I think that was another one of my mistakes, so don't worry about that. So all of this section goes from 120 to 145. And we need to know the area of these sections, and we need to work those out separately because you could work it out all together, but you're just making it harder for yourself. So first of all, this first one is 10 times 0.1, well, we know 10 times 0.1 is, oh sorry, I've done it the wrong way around. Sorry, 10 times 0.1 is 1. Okay, we then do 10 times 0.3, or 0.5, sorry, which is 5. And then finally, we do 5 times 0.8, giving us 4. So we've got all of our areas of our 3 rectangles, and the area is nice and easy because you should know already how to work out the area of a rectangle. Okay, and we just need to add all of those together, giving us 10. So it says how many pupils are between 120 centimetres and 145 centimetres, and the answer is 10. Okay, so what I would like you to do now then is pause the video and have a go at these questions. There is 4 slides of questions. If you don't want to have a go at all of them and just want me to go through the answers, that's fine. But feel free to pause the video at each slide. Okay, so if you've paused the video and had a go, let's have a look at this first question. So it says, the histogram shows the times a sample of students spent completing a maths challenge. Complete the frequency table for these data. So all of my answers come up together. So let's just quickly look through the questions. So to complete the frequency table, we will just do exactly the same as we were doing before. We do the length here times the height for each bar. For B, how many students are in the sample, you then will just count how many are here, okay? How many students spent longer than 8 minutes to complete the challenge? Well, here we can look at 8, between 8 and 10. Well, from 8 to 10, that's 2, and times that by 0.5 gives us 1. And then how many students spent less than 4 minutes? So from here to here, and we'd have to work out this section and this section here. So here are my answers. So B, how many students are in the sample? So first of all, if you've completed your frequencies, they're down here in the table. Forgive the blurriness. Obviously copied and pasted it for some reason rather than properly copying and pasting it. So I apologise for that. So I took a screenshot. Don't know why I did that. So for B, the answer is 15 because we will just count up these numbers here. C, how many students spent longer than 8 minutes? So that's 2 times 0.5, which is 1. And D, how many students spent less than 4 minutes? Well, that's the area of this. Add the area of just this section, giving us 6. So well done if you got all of those right. So if you'd like to pause the video again and have a go at these questions, question 2, please do so now. Okay, if you've paused the video, here are the answers. So complete the frequency table, which is done below. How many people are in the sample is 24 if you count along the bottom. Okay, 2 add 6 add 8 add 6 add 2. And how many people are under 145 centimetres? So there is 145, so it would be 5 times 0.2. Where are we? Which is 1. And then D, how many people are between 155 and 170? Meaning you would have had to find the areas from here to here. So this bit, and this bit. Okay, giving you an answer of 17 people. Okay, so question number 3 then. Again, pause the video and have a go. Okay, if you pause the video, here are the answers. So the histogram shows the amount of money spent by a sample of people in the town centre. Complete the frequency table, which has been done below for you in the blue table. How many people are in the sample? Well, if you count all of the frequencies, that gives you 740. How many people spent over £160? So if we go to our histogram and we look at £160, well, 160 to 200 is 40. 40 times 1 is 40. Okay, and D, how many people spent over £80? Well, that would mean we would have to find the areas of this section, this section, this section, and this section, giving us a total of 490 people. Okay, and finally, question 4. Pause the video and have a go if you like. Okay, if you pause the video, your answers are at the bottom. The completed frequency table in green. How many people are in the sample? Well, if you counted up across the frequencies, you would get 80. How many people travelled less than 1 mile? So we would look at our histogram. 1 mile times, 1 times 5 is 5. And how many people how many people travelled between 1 mile and 3.5 miles? So between 1 and 3.5, which means you would have to find the area of this, 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 and this, giving us a total of 55 people. Okay, so you should be very good now at interpreting histograms and being able to answer exam questions. So well done, you did really well on that. Those questions at the end were a little bit tricky, but very common for the GCSE exam, so make sure you practice. Well done, and thank you so much for using Cubit Education. I hope to see you next time.